Alright, we're back. Got Goblin Guy versus Damabiah. Let me just get in this game. Alright, just Alright, so Goblin Guy versus Damabiah. I'm gonna let the players do mulligans real quick while I go over deck lists. Let's just grab these deck lists. Alright, so Goblin Guide is playing Lion Crane with 8 conflict characters. We see 2 Crones, a Master of the Spear, 2 Rivals, 3 Stewards. He's playing Stand Your Grounds. He is playing Ready for Battle this time. We see some Spies at Court, some Voice of Honors, a Noble Sack, and 3 for Shames. We see EG in this list, also 3x EG. So, pretty, non-conventional Lion. And then out of Crab here, we see Crab Crane, actually. First time seeing this, we see 1 Admit Defeat, 2 Duelist Training, 3 Rival, 3 Steward of Law, and then we do see the 3 for Shame, which is basically a Crane card in this deck. And then the Dynasty side is pretty standard. We do see 2 Hiruma Yojimbos, which is not standard. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm just gonna let the players get playing. Alright, we see some flops here. We see the Crab player flop the Palace immediately, so reduces a... Gonna grab Kingsley as my co-commentator.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up?
Oh man, this is so weird. Okay.
Yeah, you were saying that you were watching the VOD. I'm like, yeah, I see all these comments. I get all the notifications because you keep leaving messages on the video.
Oh, Ted.
Yeah.
I have those give notifications.
All right, so we have both players are on Crane Splash actually. It's Crab Crane versus Lion Crane. And Goblin Guy did remember his Ready for Battles this time.
Alright, Gifted Tactician, dude. I think Gifted Tactician is sick.
I'm in for it. Like, so Gifted Tactician I think is gonna get better. Also, as so it depends on if FFG want to continue to flesh out the Lion be more honorable theme.
Yeah. But like the Gifted Tactician synergizes both with the Be More Honorable theme and with the Swarm theme.
That's true, yeah. But like, there's so many 2-mana 2/1s that Lion has. Like Tsunari is apparently very good. Bill has been testing her, and she's
the one where she gives +1/+1 if you have 3 Bushi in the conflict.
Yeah, just 3 total.
She seems very strong for the Swarm deck.
Yeah, and so Bill has been playing her, and he said that she is just like a huge force.
Oh yeah, I bet, dude. Lion having buffs on there. The other thing is, I wonder if we're gonna see more Commander synergy in the future.
She also buffs political too, so Lion can make a strong political attack that they normally couldn't before.
No, that's scary.
Like say you get attacked by character, like say you get attacked by Tsunari and like some 2/1s, like some Tacticians or something, and then they hit Rally. Normally that's a conflict you can win, but Tsunari makes that +3/+3.
Yeah, that's very strong. I think she's in for sure. The question is just how many copies.
Probably 2.
Yeah, I don't like running more than 2 copies of low-cost uniques, because seeing multiple low-cost uniques is really unhype. Alright, Military Conflict at the Art of War. Earthring.
Alrighty, let's see here. Alright, so we got everyone that has joined us throughout these 3 games. These have been 3 back-to-back games. So did Goblin Guy just lose a military, just like a random military attack from this Caillou envoy?
Yeah, it looks like he does. He just ate the Earth Ring there.
Why do you think he just did? What do you think about not defending there?
I think it might signal that he's going for greater glory this turn. Or something else that makes him really want to put his guys in on the offense. I think it's just sort of bizarre to not defend otherwise. I mean, you could just send in Matsu Berserker or Gifted Tactician winning by default, make them spend cards.
It also denies the keeper, right? Like that's...
Yeah, I wouldn't... With the keeper in there, I probably would have defended with the Berserker, but...
Runs into shameful display, kind of awkward with Satoshi having 2 glory here. If he has the buffs, though, to just brute force this, we'll see.
So he's gonna win the conflict by default because of his stronghold. He needs some buff that gives +2 in order to break here.
Or at least threaten the break.
Yeah, but the problem is there is that Karada district, so if he has a sword, it's not active. Looks like it might be a win, but not a break.
That's fine. He's gonna get the draw off the Tactician also.
Yeah, he will get the free Tactician draw. So
I see a card being spent from Damabiah's hand. He went from 10 to 9. I wonder if this is a for shame. Oh, it's a debate.
Lion's weakness to policy debate. Wow, interesting. Legion of One, Noble Sack, Ornate Fan, Political Rival, Stand Your Ground, Sword of Law.
That's a really weak hand.
I guess he could... Actually, that's not true. He could play his Sword of Law.
Yeah.
Let's see. If he played his Sword of Law, he could break if the Crab player has absolutely no buffs other than their Stronghold, but that seems very risky here.
I think he wants to go for the win because he wants the keeper.
Yeah.
Also, one thing to do here is if he... Because, so Damabiah has access to First Shame, which is not a card normally out of Crab. And so a First Shame here on this Gifted Tactician could stop the win.
Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Because
so if you take Steward of Law, First Shame the Tactician, and then your box beats the Lion box.
Hmm.
Although, yeah, because this will be
ground.
Or
no, I'm sorry. I always get these mixed up. I always think Stand Your Ground is ready for battle.
Yeah. He doesn't have it ready for battle. He takes Legion of One though. Interesting.
That is a really high value card for later on, so it does make sense that he might want to get rid of it.
That's fair.
I don't know. He may have just decided to concede the loss here, but I don't know. If he has like a Watch Commander, that would be pretty. I guess actually the Lion box is still there.
Yeah. For Shame is the card that I'm thinking of. But then you would take Steward of Law, I think.
Honestly, just like Katana on Satoshi is good, but I don't. Does he have Katana?
Players don't. I don't believe so. It would be pretty good in this splash because he's playing Duelist Training, so like Katanas are nice. He has two Katanas. He doesn't have Watch Commander actually. So his attachments are 3 Reprieve, 3 Fan, 2 Katana, 2 Duelist Training. No Watch Commander. Alright, so there is a Stronghold from Crab comes out, so he doesn't spend a card, and then we're probably going to see the Lion Stronghold in response.
Yeah, no reason not to do it unless he wants to play that Steward and then use it.
Steward and then doing it would threaten a break.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's worth it, though.
Yeah, I think you want to save that Steward to try and draw it with a First Shame.
Yeah. Especially since he doesn't have For Greater Glory here and wouldn't have the fate to play it anyway.
Agreed.
Oh, I guess if he wins this conflict, he does get a keeper out. Okay, he is going for just...
He wants to win, right? Like, you want to win because you want to get your keeper. And then, you can dishonor Satoshi.
Yeah, so if he wins this, he gets a Fire Ring, a keeper, and a draw, so that's pretty hype.
Does Damabiah have a First Shame here? Because if he for shames the tactician, it's -2, puts him to 4, and then you force the steward to be played.
Right, and then if you have another strength buff, you're in a good position.
Yeah, you exhaust it.
What were the draws here? Did Lion bid really low?
3. They bid 3 because they have Venerable Historian.
Oh, right. Yeah, Venerable Historian. I don't know. We could see Venerable Historian doing some work here. There is that noble sack.
Oh, nope, never mind.
Assassination on the Historian.
Yeah, and because it didn't get a chance to use its ability.
Nice. There's no free honor.
Oh, here's Way of the Crab.
Oh man, this is a tough spot for Lion.
I mean, you have to sack your Berserker.
Yeah, I think so.
Yep.
Yeah, if he sacks the Berserker, that means he's gonna lose this conflict.
This is why Damabiah took Legion of 1.
Actually, this is really negative because Crab can probably get in with the Void Ring now.
Agreed. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, he can just Void Ring at Art of War, and he doesn't care about breaking it, or he can scout.
No. If he scouts and hits Feast or Famine, Goblin Guy can play Steward of Law and then fan the Keeper and then take the Fate off Satoshi.
Right, yeah, and then he'll steal the Satoshi, so he can't scout. Because you can't use Karada District on stuff that's on your own guys.
Yeah.
The one real downside.
You should probably just attack Art of War, and then if Goblin Guy wants to fan your Keeper, to basically trade one card for 2.
Yeah, give him let him take the cards. That's fine.
Yeah, it's only +2 cards instead of +3.
And you still get the fan for next turn.
Yeah.
So that's excellent value.
Agreed. So probably
Hopefully this is Void.
It's Void or Air, for sure. I think Void is the stronger play, but if you just want to be safe, you can Air and then maybe draw 3.
I could see that. Yeah, he's going for Void though. That is the move that I would select.
Yeah. We'll probably see a 1 or 2 bid then from Damabiah. Really tough first turn for Goblin Guide. His running into Shameful, obviously, the worst case scenario, but he just didn't have a very good hand to kind of win a conflict.
Yeah, really not a great start.
Although Steward of Law plus Fan can break Shameful here.
Oh, interesting. Looks like Damabiah is playing his own Ornate Fan to go for the break, so he wants the break here.
Huh. So Goblin Guy can go Political Error and take a break on Shameful with the Steward.
No, he gets stolen by Crowded District.
Oh, that's true. So you could just take the unopposed then? Maybe scout then?
Yeah, I would personally do it just for the unopposed air. I think the unopposed air is quite significant with the opponent at only 5 honor. Take him down to 3. Now they have to start really worrying. But I'm not sure at the same time. Well, actually, he just got that influx of 3 cards, so maybe he doesn't need to preserve hand sizes.
You could also even just put the fan on there. I mean, I guess getting your fan stolen is really awkward.
Yeah, he could both of the existing crab characters are good targets for it and have fate on them.
Yeah, I think I would just take the unopposed air, maybe go for a scout.
Yeah. Unopposed air is nice though.
Yeah, and then dynasty wise, so we see Damabiah actually discards a face-on card against the Keeper clan, and he hits LPV. So
really
it's
not smart.
Well, it's good and bad, right? Like obviously, if we don't, but if Goblin Guy flips a Spirit Color now is basically LPV.
Yeah. I do not like Lion in particular. Don't discard face downs against them because not only is there Keeper Initiate, there's also empowering their Spirit Colors. So he finds Meditations nice, and he found it at a time when he doesn't need to worry about losing fate on his guys.
Yep, and so there's the steal. So yep, 3 to 13 honor.
So that turn didn't end up as bad for Goblin Butt Guide as I first thought.
So he's definitely behind in terms of board and like game progression, but he has a win condition also.
Yeah, so he's way behind on board, but he has huge ups on honor. His opponent is in danger of losing for dishonor shortly, and they have equal hand size, which is not where you want to be as the player in danger of losing from dishonor.
Agreed.
On the other hand, there is 1 honor on the board from that Mia Satoshi, so that is something to consider.
Karada District gets mulliganed. Interesting. Especially with the Guardian there, I'm gonna maybe kept it for at least 1 more turn, where I can then leverage my leveraging against a known fan. We do see a Spirit Caller, and we do see another LPB. We see a Toturi and a General.
That's wild.
We could see it. I mean, Toturi airing is it is to honor.
Toturi airing is real. Also, that Spirit Caller just got enabled by that LPB discard, so you could play Spirit Caller.
You could play Spirit Caller too, and then go for a charge play.
Yeah, I think the Spirit Caller being on a broken province is slightly awkward, but there is a pretty good draw from Damabiah as well, though. So we'll see how that progresses.
I wonder if Goblin guy playing Before the Throne. I know some Lion players play Before the Throne.
Yeah, let me look that up. That was extremely in the past, but I think it's come out a bit.
No, it's manicured. Okay, so it's not. It's slightly unfortunate. That would be a really insane thing if you just like walk into Before the Throne and lose.
I did see a crazy game earlier where someone forced his opponent to break before the.
Yeah, that was the Crane game, I think. It was like both players were like, it was like a feast or famine fight where everyone was trying to buff the other characters so they didn't break Before the Throne.
Personally, I kind of like that aspect of the game. I think it's really funny.
I think it's cool. I just think it's I think the problem with Feast or Famine is it's too easy to break.
Feast or Famine would ironically be a weaker card if it were higher strength.
Well, I think in general, provinces with higher strength, unless they have a good activated ability, having higher or like an ability that can trigger over and over again, having high province strength is a negative.
Yeah, in many cases. Like, if Manicured Gardens was strength 6, that would be amazing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Then you just get this province that's never going to break, and you get to get a fate every time.
Yeah, but, like, if, you know...
Rally to the Cause was 6.
Being on high strength would be super sick, because you could put on your Stronghold.
Oh, sure.
But, if... I don't know, if Restoration of Balance was strength 8, it would probably be a worse card.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure it would be a good card at that time. I guess maybe it would be good just because that strength level is so silly that it would be...
Sure. Let's not say 8. How about 5?
Yeah, if it were strength 5, I think it would almost certainly be worse. That's actually why those, that new Earth one has a strong on-break effect, and it's strength 3, but it gets +2 strength if you're Earth. That province is worse if you're on Earth, dude. You want the low strength so that it won't...
Yeah. I think the cycle is gonna. I think there's gonna be a cycle of cards here that of those provinces that are basically just gonna be not playable for those roles.
If so, that's legitimately. I don't know. I mean, I think it's possible the design team realized that, but whoever wrote the article certainly didn't, because they were talking about how it'd be stronger with the Earth role, and that is not
the case.
So I'm hoping that is not what the designers were thinking.
Yeah.
Because it's become apparent that farmable provinces are super negative. At this time. You know, maybe we'll see some change in the province meta later on, but at least for now, at this time, you do not want provinces that can get farmed easily.
I'm interested in trying the Earth province out. It looks good.
Yeah, it does look good. I think it's going to be a very common Earth province selection for Keeper clans.
Oh, here's another Way of the Crab.
Ooh.
He can use Stand Your Ground, though.
Oh, yeah, good point, and he should. Yep, there's the Stand Your Ground. Way of the Crab, strong card, I heard.
Yeah, so I think maybe that's why he bought just the General, because he was scared of Way of the Crab.
Yeah, and he played around it well, then.
He can go after Meditations and not risk anything.
Yep. But... facing off with that against that Hida Kasada, I don't think Goblin Guy is going to bring many inroads this time.
Oh, here's the thing. Hear me out. You go military fire at the Iron Mine, and then you have to charge Toturi. You use Toturi's reaction to honor your general, dishonor Kasada, and then you noble sack Kasada.
Oh, how sick would that be?
Because he has the noble sack in his hand. That is the line. That's like the that's.
Yeah, oh, that would be the bomb. Plus, you get that keeper.
Yeah, you get your keeper, and then if you have like a For Greater Glory, you get to keep Toturi. But like, I'm not trying to be greedy here.
Yeah. That would be a totally crazy line of events.
Because you have to kill the Iron Mine too to protect against noble sack, so you have to go to that province.
Good point. Yeah, Iron Mine being able to stop guys leaving play in the middle of the turn is really strong. Personally, I think Iron Mine would be fine if it was just at the end of the turn, and didn't provide protection from kill events and assassination.
I mean, at the moment, I think I think Iron Mine is fine. Obviously, so like there's a lot of strong cards in, I would say, weaker clans, that that don't feel as strong because the clans aren't doing as well. Like Crab. They're definitely a good clan, but they're not a top tier clan, and Iron Mine kind of gets overshadowed by that because they're not winning events, they're not beating Scorpion, all the other things. And as the game progresses, like this card is going to be one of those cards that later on it's gonna be like, maybe a year from now when Crab is dominating, it's like, why is this a real? It's like, why is this a card?
Unless they're restricted, of course.
Yeah, You know what? I think it might be. I think it's maybe a little bit poor to have a restricted list so early in a game's design. But I would welcome one. It would change the way decks are built. Currently, a lot of decks just feel very similar.
I would welcome a restricted list, but I think there are a few issues with the one that was.
Oh yeah, I think the one that was leaked or whatever, or like the one that was floating around. I think the list is not correct. But
in particular, restricting Pathfinder's Blade and not touching Feast or Famine is like. Ugh.
Well, I mean, restricting a role specific card doesn't matter, right? Like so having a province on the restricted list doesn't matter unless there's another province on that restricted list.
I think they should just ban Feast or Famine, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I would be okay with that.
Alright, looks like he's not going for the super play as he is not targeting that Iron Mine.
He's going for water. Interesting. He's just going to take that Fate.
Yeah, I guess he wants the Fate. Also, he can bow out the Keeper Initiate, so that's not terrible.
He could go for a charge play with LPB, but like it's really tough to bow Kasada.
I mean, even Mia Satoshi has Strength 4. I guess you could use Lion Strong. Oh no, the LPB can actually get up to 5. He has a decent shot of bowing.
Well, he has to burn something for Kasada, so I'm assuming it's gonna be.
So maybe he would waste his Stronghold, then he could charge LPB. LPB would be Strength 4. If he bonsais her, she can go up to 8. That's enough to bow Kasada.
If he manages to do that and bow out the board and like get like a For Greater Glory, that's insane, right? Because then Crab doesn't get an attack.
Yeah, and it does look like maybe Crab is setting him up for this with the Mia Satoshi as the only defender.
If he could have another debate here, that would probably just stop the whole conflict.
Yeah, good point.
But I mean, he did only draw one card.
Charging Totori would be worse here because double Water Ring doesn't do anything.
Agreed. Yeah, it's definitely charge LPB.
Notorious LPB. No, actually, no. You can charge Spirit Caller and Spirit Call the other LPB, and that way you still have LPB in your province.
Oh yeah, that's sick. I like that.
Nope. He just lets his opponent win. Okay.
All right. Look, we're trying to come up with all these sick plays here, and unfortunately, none of them happened.
Yeah, sometimes the creative plays aren't accessible, and you just get rid. Sometimes. Other times you pull off amazing plays, but sometimes.
Alright, so risk of hitting Feast or Famine here. Probably going to see a military attack here. While he did go for political, it's so risky. If he had hit Feast or Famine, you could have just taken the Fate off of Kasada and put it onto your general.
Yep.
Although, I guess with the Iron Mine there, it's not even that big of a deal.
Uses Manicured Garden and it's cancelled. I mean, it would be more of a deal for preserving the... I guess he would then just do a Void Ring, though, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not looking great for Lion here. Goblin Guide is a pretty strong player, though. I can't imagine it yet.
Damabiah says, "Wow, I'm stupid." Not sure what.
Yeah, doesn't seem like.
Did he think this was military? Maybe he thought this was gonna be military, and he was gonna charge Shuichi or something.
Oh, that would be sick.
And then Iron Mine Shuichi.
You know, some players have stopped using Shuichi for some reason.
I think he might be. I think he might be better as a 2-of. He's good in certain matchups, but like. I think he's getting better now with the ubiquity of Fate Worse Than Death going down.
Yeah, he suffers a lot from Fate Worse Than Death, no doubt.
And like the Crab Dynasty slots, they're kind of just interchangeable, like. But I definitely think the covert is actually the best part of him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, so like conditionally getting one Fate, you know, Fate is important and that's a strong ability. But having a 3/3 covert is the real strength.
I mean, even if he's a 1/1 covert, right, like, he becomes Dishonored, like, covert is such an insane ability that, like, being able to covert on military and political is just so strong.
Yeah, covert's just really good. And, you know, the other thing is that he has actually pretty good stats. And then he has that nice ability on top. Like, if you compare him to, like, unassuming Yojimbo, it's like, wow.
So Damabiah is challenging Earth here, and he hasn't activated Satoshi. Maybe that's why he's saying I'm stupid. No, he passed after that.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
If he mills more if he should have activated Satoshi, because if he mills more keepers, he would get them.
Yeah, that's true. And he's not. I guess maybe he's like really conservative on honor. I could see him being really conservative. Maybe that's why he's saying he's stupid. Maybe he wanted. Maybe it would have been better to do
air. Yeah,
but he can still do it. He has another attack.
Banana, he can't go for water because Goblin Guy took water.
Yeah, water would be. Yeah, military water would otherwise be quite nice.
Let's see. So Goblin Guide has conflict characters. Let's see if based on the policy debate.
Maybe he's saying he's stupid because he isn't going to be able to get a break here.
So Goblin Guide plays rival outside of the conflict because he's going to go for I think he's going to go for unopposed air.
Oh man, yeah, that's a sick play. Unopposed air on the shameful display. He says he should have done water, except he can't do water.
Water was taken.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, no, he's.
Yeah, there we go. Goblin Guide is saying water isn't an option, though.
I think he realized the situation here, and now he's gonna go down to 1 honor.
No, he should activate Satoshi. If he flips a keeper, if he hits a keeper, he'll get a keeper to block with.
Oh yeah, he needs that. Yeah, that's a great point. Activating Satoshi could save him from losing one of those honors. Let's see if he can do it.
It also makes shameful not a real attack.
Nope, there's a pass.
Because if you have a keeper and he runs in if he attacks shameful, you can win with box plus shameful activation.
That's true, but sadly he has passed. So if Goblin Guy knows what he's doing, he should probably just pass.
Yeah, I would absolutely pass right here.
Let your opponent make the mistake.
Yeah. Mitten says I don't have audio right now, but I imagine my desire is saying something like use Satoshi. That is correct.
Playing Zergling, L5R boss battle mode, all 5.
Oh, there's a dishonor. Okay.
No,
he can Iron Mind the keeper.
Yeah. Oh, Goblin Guy loses for greater glory. Oh well.
All right. Unopposed air here. Do you go to try and break? He's a fan. Goblin Guy is a fan. Do you go for the break on the Iron Mine?
Oh yeah. I think. Wait, what could it be? Yeah.
It could be a Manicure Garden, which could give him a fate for reprieve.
Good point. Or what's the other one? Is it defend the wall?
Yeah. Defend the wall.
So defend the wall wouldn't do anything.
So it's 50-50, right? Like I think you take the 50-50 to win on the spot.
Yeah, I would take it. Even if he does play the reprieve, he has to play it, right?
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, so I think,
he goes for shit. Oh, no, here we go. He court games, honors political rival. And then he noble sacks to win.
Vegas, baby.
Oh, no, it won't. Yeah, he noble sacks he noble sacks after the mine leaves. Done. We did it. Found the line.
Ultimate combo.
We have to pick a ring. I'm assuming it's going to be air ring here.
Wait, but hang on though. Damabiah can get a fire ring.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, so he would have had to break the mine.
Yeah, he has to break the mine. He has to break the mine to go for the noble sack play.
Yeah.
Two
fate on the right signals that he. No, he doesn't have fate for noble sack because he put 2 fate on his rival.
Oh yeah, no fate for sack. Damn. All right.
That would have been hype though.
Well, I mean, like Damabiah has to go for air on his first conflict, next turn.
Damabiah's morale seems low.
Goblin guys, both players' morale seem low.
Maybe Goblin Guy just realized that he should have gone for the Iron Mine. I'm not sure, but he hadn't initiated the conflict yet.
Yeah, so. Maybe he also didn't. Maybe he has the core games in the noble sack and he just doesn't see the line.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it is a kind of it's a kind of unusual play. You know, that's not like the types of moves that we see every day in this game.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright, so there's the break. There's the steal. Down to 1 honor. So Damabiah has to go for military fire here. I would probably break Manicure Garden, not risk hitting Feast or Famine.
Feast or Famine. Yeah, I agree.
It's Feast or Famine or Pilgrimage, so I mean it's a 50-50 that you just don't want to take a coin flip here.
Manicured Garden anyway. Yeah, he should definitely do that. Oh yeah, but its ability was canceled by Quesada. Okay.
Yep, so it can't be activated here. Yeah, Quesada's gonna break it. You honor your keeper, I think, right?
Yep.
Then you can save your mine.
Discards the down card again. This time hitting a Mulaku Kabe guard.
Probably a positive. Positive for Goblin God, I should say. Like, any face down discard is positive.
If he could win a conflict with the Mulaku Kabe guard, it would enable a very efficient no sack.
Agreed.
But, you know, if. Alright, only 1 honor for Damabiah. But an honored Miya Satoshi may leave play this turn. I think Damabiah is still alive, at least for now.
We'll see. He'll go for air. He has to go for air, I think. And then if Goblin Guy can win a fire conflict.
Oh, interesting. Haruma Yojimbo. That's not a card that I've seen too much recently.
Yeah, Damabiah has 2 of them.
That's fair. They do go very well with charge.
And it's actually a pretty good target for duelist training if you have like a mine or something to protect them.
Does he have duelist training in his
Yeah, he has 2 duelist trainings. He's playing Crane Splash, so it's some rivals, some stewards, duelist training, and then a mid defeat. He has For Shame also, which is basically a crane card. In in Crab.
For Shame is basically a crane and sport card.
Yeah.
I don't know. Phoenix can play it if they go courtier heavy.
I mean, before the Phoenix pack, it was pretty much in every Phoenix deck because there were just so many good courtiers.
Yeah, we've seen a lot more Shigenja heavy decks recently, though, which might not.
Well, Supernatural Storm with the new box is pretty insane.
Yeah, no doubt. Even just at +2, using it twice for the +4, pretty good.
Yeah, and being able to buff political for maybe a debate inside of a military duel is huge.
So I do think there's been a bit of a shift in terms of overall balance. I do think there's been a shift in overall balance of strongholds recently.
Yeah, so my issue with the way the current strongholds are is that all these new strongholds that get released are basically have like it's kind of like following, like if you have an older sibling who goes through school before you and wins all the awards, it's like really hard to follow that up. It's the same for these strongholds, right? Like the new stronghold against like the Phoenix stronghold is just like you know, if it's not on that level.
I do think they do have one opportunity. The Dragon Stronghold is one of the best at present, but it forces a certain style of deck construction. So I think it would be possible to print a Dragon Stronghold that still saw play, despite not being quite as power level heavy.
Sure. Maybe a monk. I think we should have to do monks.
Stronghold. Like if they print a stronghold that has some nice benefit for playing monks and doesn't rely on attachments, that could lead to
a real different deck. Because like at the moment, if you build a monk deck, you still are kind of like, people are like, I want to build a dragon deck that's not like Niten Master. It's like, well, at the moment your stronghold is one of your best cards, and you know, being like not building around it is just wrong.
Yep. So even the monk deck ends up playing a lot of attachments. And to be fair, if they print more tattoo attachments and stuff like that, I could easily see it working out. But it would be cool if they printed some kind of other stronghold that promoted a non-attachment focused playstyle, just so you did have a little more variety. And I do get that Voltron is kind of the current dragon theme, but maybe they could print like a Monk Stronghold or a Fate on Ring Stronghold, use one of the other themes they have.
Yeah, agreed.
How sick would it be if they had a Stronghold that was Bow, put a Fate on a...
Put a Fate on a ring, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Like, out of your pool?
No.
Oh, okay.
From the bank.
So it's just another economy card. I mean, that's fine in my opinion. I mean, it's not. I don't think it's anywhere. It's anywhere above the power level of Scorpion or Phoenix, which are the other two economy strongholds right now.
Yeah, so basically it would be a one fate economy per turn if you were just using it to put it on before you attack, but then you could also use it to set up some moves with some of their other cards.
Yeah, like Seeker of Enlightenment I think would just be an auto include then, because you have at least +1/+1.
Yeah, so like Seeker of Enlightenment is a good example. Or, you know, you could do it to enable Enlightened Warrior, though I think Enlightened Warrior is probably too bad to function.
Yeah, if Enlightened Warrior was a monk, maybe. But Enlightened Warrior being a Bushi is kind of awkward.
I think if Enlightened Warrior was a monk, or if it were a 2/3, or a 3/3...
I think it's 3/3. I think 3/3 is too strong.
Yeah, but I think the 2/3 with the 3 on political
I could see that.
I think that would be a legitimately strong card, or a legitimately reasonable
What if it
card.
was just a 2-mana 2/2?
That would probably actually be worse, similar to Miramoto Prodigy, because it would just get assassinated if you loaded it up.
Sure, but like there's just other assassination targets, and assassination is not nearly as ubiquitous as it was in core meta.
Yeah, I guess you could just play it, and instead of loading it up, just be like this.
It's just a value. It's just a value card, right? Like, do you want this thing to go away? Don't take fate, or if you do, assassinate it, right? Like,
yeah, it's like Doji Shizuo. I think that would be playable, but not amazing.
Sure, but like I don't think every card needs to be amazing. Like, right? We did those. We kind of did that mock like top 5 for for fate cost, and Dragon had them all all the way up the curve, right? Like we had 1, 2, 3, two characters in 3, our 4 and our 5. Like, so I don't think we need more insane characters.
Sort of weird. They have some of the most efficient characters and also some of the dumbest or least efficient characters.
Yeah.
Alright, we should commentate on the game. Pilgrimage was broken.
Yep, yeah, that's not surprising. We're just seeing military fire, also not surprising. Gonna basically grab this grab the Keeper Initiate, maybe threaten a Noble Sack.
That could happen.
But the firing can also dishonor. He could dishonor Kasada, actually. I think dishonor Kasada would be strong. And then if you use the Vanguard Warrior to save Kasada, you can Noble Sack him.
Yep.
Although, no, he would need a way to honor his Gifted Tactician. So, Yojin no Shiro is activated, it's cancelled by Kasada. So we see Honor Satoshi, and we see this Vanguard Warrior in here. If Goblin Guide has an assassination for the Vanguard Warrior, it would be really strong.
Ooh, an assassination. Interesting.
Goblin Guide's not playing assassination, so scratch that.
Oh, never mind. Just kidding.
So LPB bows the Keeper Initiate. So Damabiah has access to Steward of Law and Political Rival. So Damabiah could actually make an attack. He can't bow Satoshi Soto. It's 3 to 4. Yojin no Shiro is cancelled by Kasada.
Crab still has their own box as well, so I don't think this conflict is gonna be.
He pulls his Vanguard Warrior out actually. So he's actually losing the conflict now.
He'll probably use box to be winning the conflict by 1. Or he's just throwing this conflict, which would be truly bizarre.
So there's the box. All right, Goblin Guy, please. Oh no, Goblin Guy doesn't have any way to get a military strength.
He's out of gas.
That's so unfortunate. Losing this military attack is just very disheartening. Getting the firing and the Keeper and the draw card, like, that's...
Yeah, I was talking up Gifted Tactician earlier, but he does have one big weakness, which is similar to the Asako Diplomat or the Blackmail Artist. You have to actually win the conflict.
Yeah.
And now, like Blackmail Artist, because you are on Lion on military, you have an advantage, but when you're fighting Crab, I think Lion is pretty dominant in military against most clans, but against Crab and Dragon in particular, they can generate big numbers to match your own.
Yeah, you really have to kind of combo your military buffs. Lion has ways to just generate absurd military numbers through their stronghold and their their events, the way they stack. But the fact that Kasada's on the board canceling the stronghold, we're seeing military favor. Just no cards, so it's really tough.
Yeah.
Let's see. So the Vanguard Warrior should probably attack political void here, force the block. And then Goblin Guy can't make a second attack. And then if he chooses not to, it's not even that big of a deal. You'll take 1 unopposed, but you're gonna gain 2 honor this turn.
Mm-hmm.
and the political rival currently can't break either of the provinces. Although he does have a fan, so he can defend the wall. But I don't think you care about defend the wall. I think I would take the void ring and void the rival, or make the rival block. Also, you get the fate. Alright, we're going to be posting sign-ups for Season 6, actually. Just got...
Okay, is that going up today?
Yeah, I'm putting it up right now. Just got the shareable version from Kratos. So, people are asking in chat how to sign up. So
Season 6 should be exciting. If I recall correctly, the Phoenix stuff is not legal for the Invitational.
No, it is legal for the Invitational.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because it's in May, it's a full month, right? Like people in the Invitational can be practicing with it right now. From Jigoku, it's basically been a full month of it being released. Even in paper, you have 2 weeks. So technically, FFG's is 11 days. So we're even keeping in line with that.
Oh, got it. Yeah, I was thinking for some reason that the Invitational was going to be the climax of the old meta. And then
no, oh man,
starting Season 6, the new meta.
I think the LCQ and Season Cup 5 are enough of a climax.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I'll certainly be excited to see some new stuff out there. It'll be interesting. You know, I've been doing some testing myself, but I think that it's a lot harder to get reliable information when it's just test games. You know, even if you say competitive.
Yeah.
The public population is not necessarily people who are super competitive in all cases. Looks like Damabiah has done a good job of getting out from under this dishonor pressure. He'll be up to 5 honor at the end of this turn.
It's hard for clans that don't have ways to dishonor. You know, Scorpion can dishonor the characters via numerous effects. You know, Crab has Watch Commander. So those are the two best clans at kind of shutting the door on dishonor.
Yeah.
You know, Lion's big dishonor swing is, you know, if they get you low, they can Taturi Air, right? Like, that's the biggest thing they can do.
We do see one interesting dynamic here, though, which is that it does appear to me that the Crab board is going to be going away unless they have rebuilds or reproofs.
Why do you think he went for water here instead of void? Water means...
Water? Yeah, it doesn't do anything. He has the Imperial Favor anyway, and this rival has Covert, so I think that's kind of a mistake.
So we should see the rival go after Earth here, then?
Yeah, Earth. Yeah, I think he can go Earth, and then he'll have the he'll be able to go first for 2 fate on the Void Ring next turn. That seems like a pretty strong situation for Goblin.
He's scouting Manicure Garden. Why do you think this is?
I don't know.
I would just go.
We know Damabiah does not have Mirumoto's Fury. I would have just gone to defend the wall.
He's contesting the Void Ring also first.
Oh, this is actually a Fertile Fields. That's even worse.
Why is he contesting the Void Ring also?
I don't know. I think that's just incorrect. Maybe he really wants the Fate now, but I don't know why he would want it now instead of going for Earth. Yeah, I don't think that's right. I would have gone for Earth here. You can go Void first thing next turn and get two Fate from it. So does seem a little odd, but maybe there's something he wants to play this turn, or maybe he wants to not be forced to do Void first next turn in order to prevent his opponent from getting 2 Fate. Because I do think that if there's 2 Fate on that ring, you do kind of have to go in for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless, of course, we see some really odd things happening with the initial flops, which at least at this time does not seem so likely to me, but, you know, strange things have happened. Pit Metal says, I missed when Phoenix was a tactical puzzle. So I think tactical puzzle has become a meme because of an interview with one of the designers where they said that Unicorn was a tactical puzzle. So it's kind of been a code word for bad in my view.
The problem with that interview is I just feel like some of these designers don't play the game, or they played the game at the start of it and then don't anymore.
Hey, I know, all I can say is I know Brad Andres did a good job in design for Conquest. I think, I don't know about, I don't know about some of the other guys. I know that, Dahlman was on the design team, but he's left Fantasy Flight. I think Nate French was on the design team, but I think he also left. And then there's a newer guy that I'm not as familiar with, but I liked Brad Andres' work on Conquest. I think that was a well composed game.
Look, I'm not saying that I could do a better job, of like actual design, but I think in terms of play design, like Wizards of the Coast has had previous issues.
I think that Fantasy Flight has good designers, but they lack to some degree the same level of development that that like Wizards has, for instance.
Well, development and play design really is what it is, right? Where you take your after your cards get designed, you basically need to like put them through the gauntlet and make sure that they are reasonably designed.
I think they have great concepts, and sometimes they come up with like really innovative ideas that I think are really very legit. But I think that some of them, like a good example is in Android Netrunner, there was a cycle of cards called the Kaisa programs, which if you don't play Netrunner, it won't really make sense. They were cards that you played onto your opponent's defenses, and you like had to maneuver them around in kind of a chess piece-like fashion to get them into the right spot. But they had really powerful effects if they were set up, so it created kind of like a maneuver warfare element. It was really cool. It was one of the best concepts that I've seen, but the problem was that they were a little undertuned. So it ended up that there were only 2 of them really saw all that much play. And I think that if a little more attention, like I think the design there was great, but if development and like play design, like you said, had been like, this is a little, bishop and pawn, those cards are a little weak. Maybe tune them up a bit. Knight and rook are fine, but the support cards need to be tuned up a bit. That could have created a super great thing, and as it was, it fell a little flat. Also, I gotta say it, I know I sound like a broken record. I say this all the time. Fantasy Flight needs to stop doing this is a 1x per deck card, and it's OP. It's okay because it's 1x per deck. I hate that. It's terrible.
So, from my very short interaction with Fantasy Flight, this is my first Fantasy Flight game, my first LCG. I have already established that Fantasy Flight basically would rather design or build their game around marketing or sales more so than fully competitive.
I don't know that that's true. I think Fantasy Flight wants to, in fact, have a really competitive scene, and they put a lot more effort into organized play than many companies do. Sure,
that may be true, but like the problem is that the current gold standard is Magic and Wizards of the Coast, and it's just very hard to match that. And basically, it's you have to put a lot of work in to get to that level, and it just feels like because Fantasy Flight has so many other IPs, they may put in some work, but they basically are just gonna say, we put in this amount of work, be happy.
I think they're going to be moving closer to that. I've heard, I don't know if this is true, this is just something that I've heard. Someone said that the previous guy who was in charge of like some element of the card thing or organized play or something at Fantasy Flight had sort of a we don't want to be Magic complex.
Okay.
And would take some decisions based intentionally on not being like Magic. And that the new guy has more of an attitude where that isn't the case, and they're not just trying to be different per se. So I do think that based on that, we might see some changes. I do think in the past there have been some stupid, like I think the Fantasy Flight time structure, which I do enjoy and think is fun, but I think it largely developed from a let's not be Magic idea.
That's fair.
And I think that the fact that you can't take notes in tournaments, again, I think is let's not be Magic. And they should change it immediately. That's the old Netrunner rules. The old Netrunner tournament rules were like famously bad. Like tons of people hated them. It was illegal to offer a draw.
What?
If you offered a draw, you were actually DQ'd.
Interesting.
It was also illegal to concede. If you conceded,
it was illegal to concede?
Yeah, if you conceded, you were DQ'd, and I think maybe your opponent was also DQ'd for accepting a concede.
Whoa, what? It's like I've lost. I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, so that was considered manufacturing a game result, and you would get DQ'd.
So basically, if someone wanted to basically concede, instead of saying I concede, they basically had to just like pass their turn over and over again until they lost?
Yeah, you would have to just throw the game. But throwing the game was also not allowed. So what would
You were
actually-
basically forced to play. That's so dumb.
Yeah, so you were forced to play, except technically people would just throw the game, but like super technically the judge could like look over your shoulder and determine whether or not you were throwing the game. But,
Holy
like,
crap.
broadly speaking, that was not very enforced, but the rules as written were crazy.
That's
Like,
miserable.
also, at one point you were allowed to take notes, but the only thing you were allowed to take notes on was the number of credits you had, which was like money in Netrunner. And you were not allowed to write down anything other than the actual number, including like what had caused the number to change. You could only write down the number itself. And if you wrote down anything else, you were DQ'd.
Look, I'm going to go play a Magic Grand Prix in 2 weeks, and I'm just going to be thankful that the current tournament system and MTR are the way they are, and, you know, I'm going to go tell all my judge friends, thank you for being here, and thank you for supporting this tournament scene, because, you
Now,
know...
I will say, they did improve those rules. The crazy old Netrunner rules have been shifted, and additionally, they were working on a judge program, but from what I've heard, they have kind of stopped developing...
That's a legal thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the judge program, I can completely understand for other games not having real judges at the moment because of the WotC lawsuit. It's just not it's just not financially and legally a responsible thing to go into.
Yeah, so if it turns out that like the judge program Magic is doing is legal, I think FFG will implement it. But as it stands, they have judges for like very major events. Like they have judges for Worlds, they have judges for like, I don't know, Gen Con, but I think it's a combination of like paid contractors.
Yeah, because the issue right now is that judges, Magic is or WotC is claiming that judges are volunteers and judges want to be employees. So
Right, yeah. So currently FFG is, I believe, doing the thing where it's only actual employees or paid contractors.
yeah, that's why we Rhaegar and I were trying to get into casting for Worlds, but we were told that FFG only does in-house people, so to get around that basically.
Yeah, you know, that makes a lot of sense.
But we're gonna try. Rhaegar and I are gonna do our best to try and be able to cast at Worlds. You know,
That would be sick.
obviously I would play, but I think if I was given the opportunity to cast, I would do that. You know, 100 times out of 100.
No, you gotta play instead of cast, man. We need more strong.
No,
dragon players.
look, the pressure's on you then.
Yeah.
No, but the way I look at it is, you know, playing, you know, a lot of people get to play, right? But like casting is something that not everyone gets to do, and I think it would be really, really awesome. So we see real quick. We see a defense here. So now that the dust is settled, we see a bunch of characters by. We saw 3 reprieves come out of Damabiah to save his board, and then we see a defense here. We see Historian honor herself. We're seeing a fire ring being contested here. If Kasada gets dishonored and then Noble sacked, this could turn the game. So there's Shiro Nishiyama, buffs the characters, so we're sitting at 7 to 7.
I will also say, if we had people who were actually good at the game casting, that would be pretty tight.
Yeah, right, like just, or you know, we have experience in casting and kind of, you know, building the hype, like, it would make this stream really awesome.
They often have people who are good at casting, but not good at the game in particular. And that can lead to some odd commentaries. The funniest one was they actually hired a guy named Jeremy Zwern, who was the previous world champ for Conquest. And so because he was an FFG employee, he became one of the cast for Conquest.
Oh, that's
and
sick.
So,
it was probably really awesome then.
Yeah, but it was really funny because he was way better at it than he was way better at the game than I think the actual players who were playing.
So he would just see lines that like no one else would?
No, like he would be commenting on these games, and be like, "Oh yeah, I'm not really sure why they're doing that. That's not correct."
yeah, it's tough. It's tough. You definitely gotta rein yourself in when you're commentating. You know, if I was to commentate like at Worlds or something, I would definitely dial back. You know, dial back the way that I casted. At the moment, I represent myself, and you know, I have full creative license over how I want to cast. But
yeah, but if it was like official FFG,
I would absolutely be more professional. You know, I would, you know,
probably have to tone it down on like Fear Famine must be banned and.
Sure. I wouldn't say anything about balance. I would basically just, you know, and instead of saying like, you know, that was interesting, or you know, I would just say, you know, it's better to ask your teammate, you know, or your co-caster, you know, why do you think they did this? You know, do you think it could have been a mistake, or you know, maybe they have something in their hand that we don't know. Like, you basically just gotta sugarcoat it. Is really what it is.
Yeah.
So Goblin Guy does win the conflict.
Damabiah says, I really outdone myself to play this the worst way possible.
Yeah, so he
This guy's getting too down on himself, man. This guy's tilting.
So there's the Noble Stack on Kasada. So the problem is he played all his reprieves last turn, and he reprieved his Vanguard Warrior for whatever reason. All he had to do was put a reprieve on Kasada, and then it's safe.
Vanguard Warrior, not right.
Yeah, and then it's just safe. It's safe from Noble Stack then.
He is paying for some of these mistakes. But I don't know. I don't think he should give up the Ghost just yet. I think this game is not quite over. He does have 3 breaks and Stronghold exposed.
Yep.
Like, in general, I think there's a big risk of tilting and losing games that you don't need to lose.
Agreed.
I do think Lion is winning right now, but I don't think it's over for Crab just yet.
I think that's also in all competitive games, like video games, card games, board games, tilt or mental fortitude is a very important thing to have.
That's true in real sports, man.
It's real sport. It's just true in real life, right? Like if life, like obviously more life circumstances can get you down more than a game because it means more to you. But just in general, it's having a negative mindset. It makes everything harder.
The vast majority of games that I think this is gonna sound crazy, but probably a strict majority of games are lost well before the game actually ends by someone shifting into a mindset where they've already decided that they've lost, or they're like looking for excuses as to why they lost instead of actually trying to get out of the situation.
I can agree with that.
And the result of that is, and I don't know, I'll say it's also tough to not do this because sometimes you fight super hard and you still lose, and that stinks. But, like, it is what you gotta do if you want to get a lot of wins in, I think.
Satoshi was coverted, Banana.
There's always that temptation when you make a big mistake to be like, oh man, I threw the game, and now I don't really have to try because, like, it's already over.
That, and also, like, sometimes if you make a big mistake, you try and overreach and try and overcorrect to get it back. Yeah. It's like gambler's fallacy almost, where, like, you lose a big bet, and so it's like, I gotta bet bigger to win now.
Yeah, in L5R you see that sometimes with conflicts where someone makes a mistake and they're losing some big conflict and they just throw tons of resources into it and maybe they even win it, but they've spent way too much in doing so and they end up at a disadvantage in later turns.
Yeah, agreed.
It's really easy to spend too much in conflicts in this game. There's all kinds
you can just play like cards, like you can just play so many cards and be like, where did all my cards go?
Yeah, and there's a lot of situations where it's like, do I really need this air ring where both players are at like 7 on?
Yeah, or do I need this water ring and when I can just let him stand his guy and then do something else?
Yeah, is it okay? If
even the Earth Ring,
I win,
I think
as long as he doesn't break.
I think people overvalue defending the Earth Ring. Also, like they spend too many cards where the Earth Ring's effect basically does the same job, where they spend 3 cards to defend an Earth Ring and then they're still instead of being down 2 cards, they're down 3.
Yeah, exactly right. This was actually a big problem in Conquest also. People would get into all kinds of fights that they didn't need to win, and it was pretty easy to commit too many resources. Sometimes you just gotta be like, nope, they're just gonna kill me here. They're gonna beat my guys, and I'm gonna f them later on.
It's kind of a skill. I personally don't play as much older formats in Magic as I used to, but it's a skill in older formats when you're playing against combo decks, is especially if you're playing a deck with permission, it's really picking your fight on which spell matters.
Yeah, like let them get part of the combo as long as they don't get the final thing.
Yeah, exactly. Also in Vintage, specifically in blue matchups, it's picking your fight over trying to resolve certain spells. Like, do I want to fight over their spell, or do I want to then now try and force through my spell because they've tried to force through theirs, like stuff like that.
Force of will, baby.
Yeah, force of will. In Vintage, there's mental misstep. There's lots of free counters basically, and you just got to pick your spot. I mean. Statistically speaking, or like gameplay speaking, Force of Will is actually a bad card. It's strictly card disadvantage, and it's cost you a life, but it is a necessary card.
Yeah. Dude, the real dream is to have someone do a 20 damage spell to you on turn 1, and you play Misdirection from hand. And
Misdirection is sick. Misdirection is like your 5th Force of Will.
Misdirection is like legitimately, it's probably my favorite card in Magic.
I can see that. Misdirection is a really, really sweet card.
Yeah.
That whole cycle is really sweet. Misdirection, Unmask is part of that set.
Dude, Misdirection came out in like Masks block and everyone hated it.
It was because it wasn't that great back then. Like,
Yeah.
misdirection gained a lot of value. You know, you get misdirection, their force of will onto the misdirection, so it's basically force of will number 5.
Ooh, clever.
You know, misdirection is a really sweet card. It's gotten a little bit outclassed. It doesn't see a lot of play anymore. You know, like with planeswalkers and stuff, but
Yeah, I'm not up on the latest Magic stuff. I know that like creatures in particular have just gone off the charts.
yeah. So as Magic's set design has gone through, real quick. So we saw the defense. So we saw Damabiah win the air ring.
Okay.
Yeah. So Damabiah won the air ring. We see LPB Bowhida Guardian on this military attack here, going and defend the wall on Earth. If Goblin Guide wins, he can go for Greater Glory, and it would be awesome. He would also be able to draw. He also is going to draw a card off of his Gifted Tactician.
For Greater Glory here, it really would put him in a dominant position going into the next turn.
Yep, his board would not be going.
But he does have to.
Yeah, I think Damabiah is definitely tilting a little bit too much.
Yeah, he's lost the plot, dude. He's forgotten LPB can use her ability on characters at home, so that's put him in a negative spot.
And so, real quick, so Magic's design has basically been spells. Spells have become a lot worse throughout history, and creatures have become more efficient. So you know, it changes some of the way the game is played, but you know, the older formats, the spells are just still too good.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like if you think about even like Ancestral Recall, which was totally insane.
It still is totally insane.
No, yeah. It's originally designed as part of a get 3 of something cycle. And
yeah, it's called the boons.
Yeah, it's like Ancestral Recall, Dark Ritual, which is very good. Though no Ancestral Recall.
Well, so Ancestral Recall, Ancestral Recall is probably like a 15 out of 10. Dark Ritual is a 10 out of 10. Lightning Bolt is probably an 8 out of 10. And then Giant Growth. So these are just constructed ratings. Giant Growth is probably like a 3 out of 10.
And
Healing Salve is a 0.
Is like a 0.
Or a negative. It's probably a negative because by putting it in your deck is actively worse. So it's probably actually a negative.
It's better to put like a planes in your deck.
Yeah. It's actually probably worse.
So you know there were a few issues with balance early on in Magic.
Well, the thing is, they didn't like the value of drawing cards was seen as equivalent to gaining 3 life, right? Like that was how they designed all these cards.
Yeah, and that was not correct.
You know, even gaining 3 mana is just completely unreal. Let's see here. Phoenix went 41, and so Soto has posted the Kote records. We see a charge bringing in Shurisuke.
Hey, this is I think that Kote was before the new.
It is.
So it's kind of the we do wow. Unicorn did better than Phoenix.
In terms of percentage, yeah. Did they do as well as Dragon? 42 out of 50, 13 out of 60?
Dragon did really bad, but Dragon is one of the top decks, regardless of this record, so... We should have a US versus Europe something.
Yeah, Crane with another strong showing, 43 and 30.
43 and 30, wow.
Yeah, so that's really strong. Crane with a nice strong winning record. The Lion winning record
percentage of any faction.
Would you say?
No, Scorpion.
Scorpion was 65 and 42. Yeah. You know, Lion with a winning record is odd to me.
We should do like the Olympics or the World Cup of L5R, except the US would win. I don't know though. There's a lot of strong.
There's a lot of strong European players.
Yeah. Like I think Woodwin's from Europe. I think
Woodwin's in Germany.
I think there are several. There are several good players in mini factions actually from non-US countries.
I'm just gonna say, except for yeah. Look, I need to see some European dragons do something, right? I need some European help, right? Like all the other clans have European players, like the Greek team, like Demagogue, Inagon, all of them, they're all from Europe. You've got Shooterev, the French players, Inu's.
Oh yeah, Shoot's a very strong player.
Yeah, Inu is in Germany. Like Eric is from the Netherlands, Heinzel's from Germany, Eugen is from Italy.
Isawa Eugen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Europe has a lot of very, very good players.
They just gotta get him to the events, I guess.
Yeah, that's the tough part, right? The company being U.S. based. You know, it is. You know, I don't fault anyone for not being able to travel. Alright, so we see the board clear out. We didn't see a For Greater Glory, but we do see a double Taturi here. Probably just gonna see Taturi be bought. Goblin Guide takes political favor. Damabiah loses an assassination ram. Damabiah is down to 1 card in hand.
Yeah, Emran Omar, old L5R had a lot of Kote events all around the world. I hope that they move more towards that model in the future. You know, I think we've seen a lot of dissatisfaction with the convention-only model for Kotes.
Yeah, agreed. That's I just don't. I don't think I would go to any. I am actually talking to Cascade. I'm in talks with one of their organized play managers about potentially being a head judge or a tournament organizer for the upcoming Kotes.
Okay, that's a good idea.
So hopefully it works out. I basically just need them to pay for my travel and my room, and I don't really need that much for the event. Like, I don't really care. I just need food or whatever, and I would do the rest for basically volunteer, just to like come hang out. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Like if I could go out to what's the one? Is it MomoCon in? No, KublaCon.
Oh, dude,
in California.
I'm gonna be there.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like
take that one for the dragon.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, like, I asked if, you know, I've volunteered or like kind of throwing my credentials out to be the head judge for that event, you know, or like try and help run it.
Get some calls.
Yeah, like, you know, just like get some nice floor rules and stuff. Yeah. So
enable notes. Just kidding.
I mean, if I was able to, I would, but I think that's a Fantasy Flight thing.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little higher level, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I will, you know.
There was that one Kote where they just announced that they weren't going to like enforce the dev rulings. You remember that?
I don't, but
There was some ruling that they just said they were gonna not enforce, and they were gonna play it like a different way than the official ruling.
Interesting. I know that dev rulings don't.
Were really mad.
I know that dev rulings don't count, like, right?
No, the dev rulings do count.
Oh, they do count. Okay.
Yeah. Or like the dev rulings are the way that you're supposed to play it, but because they're like not really kept up necessarily, it's possible people just won't know them. But you are supposed to abide by
So
them.
if it's not in the ROG but it's a dev ruling, it counts.
That is the way that you are supposed to rule it. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's why I'm really glad we have such a really nice database on the Discord server with the rules channels.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Some of those things are basically necessary also, like the like when like when Pit Trap was non-functional.
Yeah.
I mean, not that you would want Pit Trap in your deck anyway because it's just a terrible card, but there is a period where as written it would fall off immediately and not do anything. And everyone knows that the dev ruling there is the thing that you're supposed to go by.
What do you think about a poke attack here with your Death Seeker on water, and then if Damabiah wins, you kill Shuichi, and then if he doesn't win, you bow Shuichi.
It seems reasonable. I mean, he is. So Lion does have a pretty strong board set up here. How many of the crabs stay in play things have we seen?
We've seen one. So we've seen two mines. We've seen. I don't think I've seen any rebuilds. Sorry, one rebuild.
Reprieves, haven't we?
Yeah, all 3 reprieves.
Okay, yeah.
So all 3 reprieves, 1 rebuild, 2 mines, and then we've seen 1 Vanguard Warrior, and there's 1 more in play right now. So Goblin Guy has really slogged through all these stay in the play effects.
Yeah, that's right. I'm working on some Star Wars Legion models as we do this broadcast.
Yeah, I saw you were playing it on TTS. I was gonna watch that stream later because Travis was saying that you've been hyping that game up.
Yeah, it's actually a really tight game. I have two streams that I've done with commentary on league games of that. They actually have their own Discord and they've set up a league themselves.
Interesting that so I think that Goblin Guy was not first player. Duh. That's why he didn't do that conflict. So we see political water coming out from Damabiah with coverting Taturi. There's not a lot of political strength here.
Noman says at the very first Kote, the judge declared that they were just not going to do the corrected mulligan rule.
Oh, where you can look after you replace?
Yeah, there was a misunderstanding where everyone thought that you could not look at the cards that you had mulliganed from your dynasty deck until after you'd done your conflict mulligan also.
Yeah.
And it was ruled by the developers that that was not right, which is also crazy because that wasn't like any change to the way anything was worded. It was just a ruling. Like, it was just like, people are interpreting this wrong. This is the way that you're supposed to do it.
At Worlds, how did you guys do it?
I don't remember it coming up at Worlds, to be honest. I think I just played it the old way because like nobody asked.
Oh, okay.
But it became known that someone had pointed this out, and they were like, "Oh yeah, no, you're supposed to be able to look at it." And the judge at the first Kote was like, "We're not doing that. You're not allowed to look at it."
Yeah, if I got to judge these events, I would definitely not be doing that. So we see a mid defeat bowing keeper initiate because we see that Goblin Guide only defended with one character.
So yeah, I think having the judge declare that they're going to ignore the rules is maybe like a low point for FFG organized play. You know,
Can Damabiah steal a win here? He's played a rival. It's 12-1. Political favor being huge here. Political favor is saving this break.
Yeah, wait.
So we saw.
Is he gonna come back from the tilt and reverse into a break here?
There's the court games.
Court games.
Oh man! Counter court games doesn't do it. Counter court games doesn't do it. He needs more than a character too.
Counter court games hits the rival and bounces off. Oh man, dude, Damabiah might have made an amazing comeback here to take this game. He has 0 cards in hand. If any of Goblin Guy's 8 cards stop this, Goblin Guy probably win. But can he do it?
Goblin Guy needed to defend with 2 characters. You don't lose to anything other than a mid defeat. Actually, even a mid defeat doesn't even matter. A mid defeat doesn't matter. You need to just defend with more characters.
Does Goblin Guide have it? This is a tense moment.
This would be so sick. Oh no, Crone!
Ageless Crone.
Oh, he needed to play the Crone sooner. If he played the Crone sooner, the court games wouldn't have worked.
Does he have a...
for shame. Oh, he's a fan! He's got a fan! Oh no! Alright.
Alright, Damabiah's big attack has failed. He's going to win but not break. He will get to bow something. But Goblin Guy did have the conflict character and the buff that he needed to prevent this.
Probably gonna bow LPB here.
Why?
Because LPB can bow the Caillou Envoy, so you can't get a second attack.
Point. Yeah. So I guess you bow LPB. Yeah.
I mean, it's LPB Berserker or LPB also can maybe win a political conflict, whereas then you can use Taturi on the Stronghold.
I think this is actually gonna be the end for Damabiah. I think that Goblin Guide can probably break Stronghold this turn, but
I don't think so. How is he gonna break on political?
So he could do.
Is he just gonna send Taturi on political then?
He can. Well, let's see. He can do. Yeah. So if he did, so Taturi could solo break with the Imperial Favor since there's 0 cards in hand, and then he has Strength 6 military. Oh no, but someone's gonna get bowed, so maybe he can't actually do it. Yeah. So he can.
Oh wait, he didn't bow LPB.
Yeah. Well, that was strange. So if he does Taturi on political, he can break.
No, I think it's rally to the cause underneath the Stronghold, so I don't think he can break.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think he'll take 1 break on. I think he'll break 1 province. He won't break Stronghold, but he'll be threatening the Stronghold.
He should break Fertile Fields with Taturi, bow the Envoy with LPB, and then he should go for what double ring do you want here? Double fire maybe? Honor Taturi.
He could. Let's see. So he
Dishonor Borderlands Defender.
He could double air to put Damabiah into the danger zone again. But I think at this point it's going to be a. I think at this point it's going to be a Stronghold break. I don't think it's going to be a.
No, he should attack Fertile Fields. I don't think there's no single card with no fate that I'm worried about, as opposed to losing a fate on Taturi.
Yeah.
Wait, does he think he can Stronghold break? It's rally to the cause under the Stronghold.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen against Rally. Rally to the Cause on Stronghold, by the way, just a really good overall play in my view, and a lot of, and we are seeing it pay off here, maybe.
Yeah, at PAX
The
South.
thing about Rally to the Cause Stronghold is it buys you like one shot.
We're just seeing a political attack from LPV. Interesting that he's doing political fire. What is he gonna double up on then?
It would have been hype if that was in fact an incredible comeback from Damabiah, though.
That would have been awesome. Yeah, no man. At PAX South, this Cascade team that was there, they were small, but they were really well organized, and the TOs and the judges in quotation marks were really easy to talk to, and they took the player suggestions for things, really to heart, and they really tried to give us the best experience.
Where was this?
PAX South.
Oh, tight.
Like, when the tournament started, we didn't have a lot of playing space, and so they got us extra tables, because, we were literally sitting shoulder to shoulder. Some of the rulings, they admitted they didn't know, and, they allowed us to show them where the ruling was, and they accepted it, stuff like that.
Oh, wow, yeah, that's really good.
Like they weren't just, like, very stubborn. They were very, they walked around and tried to make sure people played on time, like, there wasn't a lot of slow play. It was really well run. So both players just losing their minds here. We see, Goblin Guy says, I thought this was military. I don't know why, though. You want to do military with Taturi.
Yeah, that would be kind of bizarre.
Maybe he could break Stronghold, right? So on Stronghold, if you break Stronghold on political, with court games.
Yeah, so you get 3 strength on, yeah, and so if you get the court games for 3 strength on Taturi, and then that also means that
6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's 8.
Yeah, and then he can't swap it because you'll blow him up on military. So that could work.
Yeah. Okay. So maybe he's supposed to military here, and then you strong. Yeah. Okay. No, man, I do think that Policy Debate is a slightly overrated card. Obviously, there are certain matchups where it's just insane, but I think it is slightly overrated.
I think it's a very strong card, but I think it's good for the game, and I want them to keep it.
Sure. I would also be okay with them. Like, I would also have been okay if it was slightly more restrictive on how to play it. But I don't know how I would do that without making the card too weak.
I think it actually is a balance factor against some things. Like, I think that Lion Swarm High Roll plus For Greater Glory was actually overpowered pre-Policy Debate. I think that it's a good counter to 1-cost conflict characters also.
Heated Banana. I think Spies at Court is garbage. I think random things in card games are horrific. Card games already have variants. I don't want you to add more variants to my game.
What do you think about that Earth Ring?
Well, I personally have already been on record saying that I wish the Earth Ring was just you discard. It was not a random discard.
It was like a chosen discard.
Yeah, the player who lost discards a card. I think the Earth Ring would still be strong. It's only bad if your opponent discards a bad card, and if they have bad cards in their deck, then I'm already advantaged.
Good point. Good point. That's true.
Like, against someone who's put 40 good cards in their deck, it's going to hit a reasonable card each time. And the Earth Ring is about building incremental advantage. It's not about just randomly winning the game. Oh, we see another LPV get flipped here. I think this is going to be all she wrote. You just poke with Steadfast, and then you just do a military attack with Taturi and LPV.
That is the way I'm seeing it.
Although we do see Taturi being honored here. We could just see. What ring did he double up on? Oh, he went on Void.
That was kind of wasted.
Yeah, so he wasted his double up. He could have gone Void with the LPB, and then he could have doubled on Fire. So just some missequence there from Goblin Guide.
But I think he forgot like what conflicts he was doing and stuff also. So.
Luke in chat with the shade saying this is why Goblin Guide is the season 3 finalist. To be fair, Luke, Goblin Guide did lose to me in top 4, or sorry, top 8. I just had the charity stream, the charity event that I was doing, which was awesome. So I don't regret any of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because you actually won that game, but then you dropped.
Yeah.
Hey man, sometimes there's just more important stuff going on.
Yeah, I just came back and won season 4. That's all. Yeah, someone was asking about matchups, and Dragon vs Lion I think might be the most lopsided matchup I've played. I actually find it easier to play against Lion than Unicorn. Like, I don't think I've come close to losing to a Lion in the past, like, 3 months. Like, once the deck list got tuned. There's a rival, so we're just going to see a political attack on the Stronghold, and he's going to covert Satoshi. Although, Honored Shuichi might be able to defend this.
Damabiah says, "Alright, that might be the end, finally."
So he's at 7 strength with his Shuichi. Shuichi can't be coverted. So you can go to 8 with the box. I don't know if that's enough to break. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 13, 14, 14 to 8. He's actually 1 short. So he either needs to get LPB up to Baus Shuichi, or he needs a political buff somehow. Sure, Noman. Like there are small circumstances where the Earth Ring, not being random would help in certain matchups. But I think having random effects tied to card games is bad. Like, it's just like we played this sick game, but your Earth Ring randomly hit this Fate Worse Than Death that you couldn't have gotten otherwise.
It does add some exciting moments, but I think I would prefer a game with more consistency personally.
From a competitive perspective, I want consistency. From a spectator perspective, I want exciting spice.
Yeah, this is also why I dislike the one per deck cards, but I do think there's an argument for.
He flipped Ardulak. He flipped the charge to charge this Borderlands Defender, but it's kind of insane to flip. I think not flipping was the only way he was going to survive, although we see a Steward of Law come down, so I don't think he was surviving anyway.
Where is my courier when I need it? Asked Damabiah.
He has one. It's sitting in play. It's me and Satoshi. It just got coverted.
That is one weird thing about Kaiju Shuichi. He has the Engineer type, which currently does not do so much.
I think him and there's the 2-drop that doubles up on holding. They both have Engineer.
That's actually another example of a card, I think, where there was an important ruling on it.
Yeah, where you couldn't just permanently stack up activations of a card.
Yeah, though honestly, given the actual holding card pool, it would not be all that good.
I think it would see play. I think it would also just swing certain matchups too, where
it would make Karada District even more broken.
Yeah, it's just like, then against Dragon, they just steal every attachment that you play. As you can't even bait it. Like, currently, at least I can bait Karada District.
Yeah, that's true. Or like, you're gonna have to steal this to avoid this break, and then I'm gonna play my reprieve.
Yeah.
It's more important.
Yep. Instead, they're like, oh, I can activate Karada District 3 times this turn. Good luck.
Yeah.
Or, like Funeral Pyre 3 times. I'm gonna sack my board now and draw 4 cards.
Okay, there's the game.
Yep. Yeah. After the flip, I knew that was gonna be the game. There's just no way he could match the military strength. The box adding +5 is just too much.
Yeah. That Lion box is not as It's not as consistently impactful as some of the others.
I think the Lion Box is a well-designed card, right? It also might have some problems that the Dragon Box has, where it is kind of restrictive on how you want to build your deck to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
But it is very powerful when you do that. Like Unicorn would be very happy to have this box.
Oh yeah, Unicorn.
Like if this was just a purple box, like Unicorn would be super happy to have this box.
I mean, honestly, Unicorn would be happy to have any box in the game because their current one is so bad.
Sure, but just like declare a conflict with like a Wayfinder and then Cav reserves and then just bam +4.
I'm hoping we see a new clan pack coming out for the Unicorn pretty soon.
Yeah.
Because I do feel like they're hurting, man. They're hurting.
I will be very happy when there are 7 clans in the game, because I think that might actually have a more adverse effect on the meta than like anything else. Like just adding the 7th clan.
Yeah, because Unicorn is more or less not in the game competitively, right?
Yeah, so like you don't have to tech for them, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on. So let's see. So Goblin Guide moves on, and we see Goblin Guide is going to be playing against Yamaneko, who defeated Kitsuki Barian or Seth in a previous match. So Dragon's currently alive in the LCQ. We have Chaley, Nyx. Nyx has been giving us strong showings in this tournament, and then we have Miramoto Kai has to play another mirror.
If I recall correctly, Dragon's actually doing quite well, but maybe that's Season 5 and not the LCQ. The a little mixed
in the LCQ, they're also doing fine. Like, Nyx is in the top 16. We're going to have another one in the top 16. You know, Chaley's going to be playing against Noman. QQ is playing against Shiba Inu. He's playing Dragon this time. So, we're getting some of the players playing Dragon in the LCQ.
That's tight, yeah. I do think that Dragon is a lot stronger than...
And then in
Spiky Kote results.
Yeah, we're actually doing really well in round of season 5 too, right? So you're in top 16. Luke is playing against Zello tomorrow and then he'll play you if he wins. Seth is still in this. Kratos is still in. Phoenix Fox is still in. So yeah, good performance. All right, so that's going to do it for the games today. You know, I'm glad everyone kind of hung around. We had 3 kind of back-to-back games, and you know, thanks for casting, Kingsley. Thanks, chat, for interacting. I'm going to put all these videos on YouTube, and you know, people have a nice rest of your day.
Yep. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you later.